Yeah. Hey, Shalom Yahal Bashim Yahushai Brakathum to the brother. Shalom Yahal Shamar Elathah Bashim Yahushai to the sisters. This is the ISUPK Southern 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. This is ISUPK Las Vegas and Pahrump Tuesday Brotherhood class. You understand? Everybody, let's give a little hand. All right. As the title says, I started the class with the title posing a question. All right, and that question is, what laws did Christ do away with? You understand? My objective today with today's class is for y'all to be able to answer all of the laws that Christ had done away with. You understand? So, of course, this is taking a stab at Christians and Catholics and everybody that claims that they know the Bible, because they sure as hell got opinions about, you understand, the things that you can and can't do and you can and can't eat. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get that, lay that out completely flat and get to the bottom and the truth of it. You understand? Before we do that, we are going to finish up last week's Brotherhood class. There was just a handful of scriptures left. I believe I left off at Luke 6:31. Or was it Mark 12:31? But we'll get to that in a moment. In the meantime, though, I'm going to ask that everybody does their part to like and share the class. Get this class pushed out to the four corners of the earth. You understand? And we should be doing that with anything that's that's ISUPK. It's getting that word out. You understand? While y'all doing that, I'm going to do that myself. If there's anybody that's online, feel free to. If has any questions, feel free to post it in the chat, and I'll answer to the best of my ability scripturally. If I'm unable to answer it myself, I'll take your question to a mightier man than myself. You understand? We're not like the Christian church where we're going to sit here and tell you things that just sound good or tell you things just to make you feel good. You understand? We deal with the actual truth. You understand? Let me see. Because it says that's supposed to work. Let me try that again. Right. All right. So if there's no questions in the class, because I wanted to keep it full screen. All right, whatever. We'll deal with that later. If there's nobody, if anybody in the classroom has any questions, raise your hand. Anybody online, post it in the chat. Let me just make sure I like and share on the Facebook, and then we'll get this going. Man, I need to fix my freaking interweb. My internet is crazy. Okay. Are there any questions online? Go ahead, young man.
God, I just wanted to know, in the book of Job, chapter 30, verse 30.
Job 30 and 30. Okay. What's your question?
I just want to know if that's actually talking about his skin.
Okay. Let's get to it. Go ahead and read it when you got it.
It's the book of Job, chapter 30 and verse number 30. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burnt with heat.
All right. Is this and you're asking, is this an actual description of Job? Like of his skin color? Okay, well, yes, Job is a black man. But with that being said, I'm actually gonna take that. So text me that question again. Text it to me so I can get that clarified.
Gotcha.
Because I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the calamity that he's going through, this hardship and whatnot. So I'm not 100% sure if he's using it, referring to his black skin as a metaphor, but mind you as well, like he is a black man. You understand? So I just want to verify that because of course it also follows up and says that my bones are burned with heat. You know what I'm saying? So that's literally referencing him going through hell, and that could also be why he referred to his skin being black. You know what I'm saying? Not just the fact that he was describing himself, but the hell that he was going through. Does that make sense? So, like I said, I just want to get that verified. Did you have any more questions?
It's a follow-up question.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis chapter 46 and verse number 13. Is this
Genesis
the same Job?
46?
In verse 13.
Genesis
is this
46.
the same? Salaki.
Go ahead.
Is this the same Job or is this a different Job?
46 and what?
13.
13. No, that is not. You go ahead and read it.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 46, and verse number 13.
Mm-hmm.
And the sons of Issachar.
The sons of who?
Tola, Issachar.
So now you have to think about it like this. Were you confused that Job was the grandson of Yasha-Allah or Israel or Jacob? That would make Job his grandson.
Cool.
You understand? Like you'll see as you read that and it's a reality of things, like how you even see it in the school, how some brothers have the same name. That doesn't mean they're the same person, right? But they got the same name. Like Yahushai isn't the only Yahushai in the Bible. Somebody else had named their child Yahushai as well. I mean, and then take, Lord allow Officer Shalimar 1000 out here in Las Vegas, he gets the privilege to have his name written in the records for us to read when we go into the kingdom. Now, mind you, you know what his name is?
Who, Shalimar?
Or you know who he shares his name with?
Talking about Shalimar?
Khan.
Solomon. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So we share names with other brothers. And mind you as well, you got to also think, we go into the book to find names. What we're going to name our children. You know what I'm saying? Like my son right now, I'm contemplating naming him, how do you say it? I gotta look it up. I think it's a Shar Ya'ala. I think that's what his name is. And you find that in the book of Judges. Oh no, in the book of Joshua, Salakia. You find that in Joshua. That's how I found his, that's how I found his name. Looked up what it meant. I'm like, you know what? I want that, for my son, which means I will be the prince of the power. Right. It's like I will be the prince of God. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we get our names. We basically name them after, the brothers, before us. Does that make sense? Cool. Do you have any questions? No? Okay. Did you have any more questions?
Con, I just want to, this is my last question right here.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew 1 and verse 18.
Okay.
Because I'm still a little confused. I did ask the question to General Muhammad.
Another brother? Okay.
But
so you said Matthew 1 and 18? Okay. So what's up with it?
I'm trying to be able to see where the hole is to where I'm not looking at it like a Christian, the birth of Yahushua.
Okay, so go ahead and read it.
It says, now the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise, when as his mother Mary was espoused.
Okay, so it was on this wise. So basically, the birth of Yahushua Mashiach was on this wise. So like we have this understanding, right? When as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, it's establishing a time of which she was engaged to Joseph. To be espoused means, that you're engaged, you're promised to somebody.
Right.
Does that make sense? Go ahead and read on.
Before they came together.
before they came together. All right, so before they came together. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Before they, they laid down together. What is it when you lay down with a woman? What does that mean?
She's your wife.
So that's what?
Marriage.
Okay. So now but before it was talking about, it starts off with talking about on this we know at the time when they were espoused, they were promised to each other. You understand? So in other words, they haven't had sex yet. They're not married yet. Okay. Before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Ghost. So she was married, or she was engaged to him. But then when Mary got, when Joseph ripped her up, the Holy Spirit came upon them to make that happen. And that's why it was as soon, the very first time that they had sex, she got pregnant. She was pregnant with Yahushua, like that. No time in between. No, you understand? Does that make sense?
So
does that answer your question?
So because it says before they came together, she was found with a child.
So before they came together, when they were supposed to. You understand? Okay. She was found to be pregnant. So Joseph knew that she was pregnant. And she was pregnant with a child of the Holy Spirit. Because what they did was something that, like, the Holy, it's something similar to like what happened with Adam and with Adam and Eve, where the Holy Spirit came upon them, where, it's like one of them things, like, I don't even, I did it, but like, it's almost like I didn't even know, like, it was beyond my control type thing. You understand? Where that Holy Spirit, almost put you on a sleep, not a literal sleep. So you're not over there, sleep smashing, but you know what I'm saying? Where you just do something out of the normal, so to speak. You understand? That's the same exact thing that happened with Adam and Eve. Go ahead.
Kind of like in our times where, like, we might be kicking it with a female, and we know we're not trying to take it to that level, but it just happens to go there just because of whatever's kicking off. A good time,
so to speak. Yeah, so to speak. Yes, exactly. You understand? So you gotta think of it like this to keep it simple, to understand that before they laid down together, they were only espoused. You understand? But then when they did lay down together, basically, as soon as you think of it like this, as soon as Joseph entered inside of his now wife, she was pregnant right then and there. Just think of it like that, to make it as simple as possible. Because mind you as well, there was supposed to be a time of which it's our culture to have a whole marriage ceremony and the whole shebang.
Right.
You understand? So that was basically them supposed to be coming together, was that marriage ceremony. Then during that marriage ceremony, at a certain period of time, while everybody is celebrating the fact that these two are about to they about to get married, they about to have sex at some a period of time, they basically sneak away, go do the deed, and then the now husband brings that white bloody sheet to give to the father, and then everybody celebrates that. Okay, now Most High Christ, y'all are officially married now. Does that make sense? So Joseph and Mary, because of the Holy Spirit, Yahushua was conceived on this wise, that before they actually had that marriage. So in other words, before they were supposed to, he was conceived. You understand? And that's why when you read on, it talks about how Joseph, basically, because Joseph was a wise, he was a righteous man. He didn't want to put her away. Where's that going? Where's that at?
Verse 19.
Is it verse 19 of the very one? Oh, yeah. Then Joseph, her husband. So now the very next verse says he is now her husband. What makes him her husband?
Sex.
Sex, exactly. So now in verse 19, it's recognizing that Joseph had slept with Mary. Joseph had ripped up Mary. They are now married. They are now man and woman. That is husband and wife now. You understand? Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man, so a man who follows the law. You understand? And not willing to make her a public example. How would he make her a public example?
Because they had sex before the actual.
Exactly. And at that time, Mary would be basically labeled as a whore, as a harlot, because she didn't wait.
Right.
Now during that ceremony, now she is, she's unclean. She's not that pure virgin that a woman is supposed to be according to our traditions when we go into that marriage ceremony. Right?
Right. Go
Was minded to put her away privily. So, man, they basically, hey, you know what? We're going to keep this just together. We're going to keep it, a secret as long as we can. You understand? And he wasn't going to put her away because he was a just man. And when you are a just man, what do you do when you rip up a woman? You keep that's your wife.
Right.
You don't just throw her away. Does that make sense? So now, are you able to understand that a little bit more?
Yeah, it definitely makes more sense now.
Yeah, because I mean, just think of it like this: 18 sets the tone that at one time they were espoused.
Go.
So they were already promised to each other. And as soon as you basically go into 19, they've already had sex. Now, technically, in verse 18, they're both, espoused to each other, and they also had sex in that same verse, but 19 lays it out flat and lets you know that first and foremost, that what did not happen. Mind you, what did not happen?
They didn't have sex.
No, they did have sex. But what does that let you know in verse 19? What did not happen? Because remember, your question was, how do we break down verse 18 so that you can stop looking at it basically from like the Christian the Christian perspective? You can actually get the truth and view it correctly, right?
They didn't they didn't go through with the full wedding before having sex.
I mean, that's there, but stay with me now. Stay with your own question. With now having that understanding, what do you now understand about verse 18 and 19 that did not happen? Now, I promise you, if I give you the answer, you're gonna be like, oh, God damn it. That's what I'm trying not to tell you. And of course, anybody that's online, feel free to answer if you think you got the answer as well. Go ahead. They didn't get married. We already went over that. But sex is marriage, Rapazai. The sister right here, she got it. That's the answer. It's the Immaculate Conception. That right there in itself debunks it. Verse 19 lays it out flat. Because now we understand that sex is marriage, right? Because we read verse 18, they're espoused. We understand what the word espoused means. It means to be promised to somebody, to be engaged, right? In today's term, in today's way in America, the man got on a knee and proposed to the woman and she said yes. You understand? That's what Joseph and Mary were. But then at the time of which she had gotten pregnant was also the time that, hey, Joseph went ahead and went and took his woman and made her his wife. Then you see that in verse 19, which again lets you know that the Immaculate Conception is BS because he went into her. And the one time that he went into her, she conceived. You good with that?
Oh.
All right, Most High Christ. You said you had that was your last question?
Come.
All right, let's give the Lord a hand. Those were good questions, by the way. Let's get into this topic. So again, like I said, today's topic is just like what the title says. What laws did Christ do away with? You understand? And I want to see if anybody can tell me which and how many laws. First, how many laws did Yahushua do away with, and which ones can you name that Yahushua Mashiach, our King, had done away with? All right. So we're gonna stay right. We're gonna leave that right there. For those of y'all that are online, feel free to post it in the chat at any given time, what your answer is. Like I said, though, before we actually get into that, we're gonna finish up the brotherhood, which is a commandment. Those are laws for us to have brotherhood. We're gonna finish up those last couple of verses that we left off from last week. Did we leave off at Luke 6:31 or Mark 12:31?
Mark 12:31.
So we got to pick up. We start from Mark.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and read that when you got it, Baba Kasha.
It's the book of Mark, chapter 12. It's the book of Mark.
Actually, start from verse 28.
Okay. It's the book of Mark, chapter 12, and verse number 28.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the scribes came, and having heard them reasoning together, and perceiving that he had answered them well, asked him, which is the first commandment of all?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 29. And Jesus answered him, the first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Verse 30.
Okay, so that's the number one commandment. Is that Salaki. The first commandment is above all, for all of Israel to hear and know and understand that the Lord our God is one Lord, right? Go ahead.
Come. Verse number 30. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment.
So, which lets you know that there should not be any other God besides him. You understand? Verse 29 and verse 30 lets you know that he is the one and only God, and that you need to be basically focused on the Most High God and love him with all that you are. You understand? That is the number one most important law. All right. Go ahead and read on.
Come. Verse number 31. And the second is like, namely this: thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So does that mean you need to love your next door neighbor Billy Joe from Arkansas, who's all Esau, as white as can be? Is that the neighbor it's talking about? Go ahead. What you got to say?
Okay, I got this question.
There was a question.
No, that isn't that.
Okay, so then who's the neighbor it's talking about in this verse?
Talking about, I was like, if your brothers.
Okay, who's your brother? Who are your brothers? Nazamana, who and also young man John, who are those people that you're referring to? Y'all named off a nation, but who are those people in particular? All right, for time's sake, I'm gonna move on. Go ahead, Trooper.
The so-called blacks, natives, and Indian Slovakia. The so-called
indigenous
black,
people,
Latinos, and indigenous people.
There you go. No, exactly. Those are your neighbors. You understand? Read verse 31 from the top.
Come, verse number 31. And the second is like, namely this: thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these.
So there is no other commandment that is greater than these two commandments right here. You understand? That you love your neighbor, that you love your brother, you love your sister, like you love yourself. So when when you're in those times of, what, I really wish I had help, you got to also think, and you know what I'm saying, and you can get the help, so you ask for the help. You got to make sure that you show that same self-love that you just display for yourself by simply asking for help. That is self-love. You understand? When you need help, you make sure that you ask so that you get it, so that you can get what you need. You understand? That is self-love. Well, on the flip side of that coin, you need to love your brother, love your sister, so that when they ask for help, you're prepared to give them the help that they need. You understand? Because just like you asking for help for yourself is equivalent to you giving the help to a brother or sister that needs it. You understand? All right, let's drop that. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 13, verse 34. The book of John, chapter 13, verse 34.
It's the book of John, chapter 13, and verse number 34.
Mm-hmm.
A new commandment I give unto you,
Mm-hmm.
that ye love one another, as I have loved you, that ye also love one another.
You understand? Now, Yahushua said this is a new commandment, right? That he's given us. But what did he really just do?
He just basically told us what we should have been already doing from the old
From the old covenant, right? From the Old Testament, right? No, you're right. So, but what did he do though? By saying it this way? Because wasn't that written in the Old Testament for us to love our neighbor?
Come.
So what is now Yahushua said that this is the new commandment. So he can you tell me what he did here?
He said that I want you to love each other the way I love you.
So he raised the bar then. That's what he did. You understand? Because can anybody say that they love somebody like Christ loves somebody? Like how Christ loved you?
Christ literally died for me, so that's top
Exactly.
notch love.
Exactly. He loved you enough to die for you. He loved you so much, he sacrificed himself for you. And it's the same exact thing. So now let me ask you this though, right? Does that mean that you have to lose your life for me?
If it come down to it.
Okay. Does everybody have that opportunity to lose their life for the sake of their brother and their sister?
Nah.
Why not?
Because everybody's going to have to go through their own trials and tribulations. So when yours come, you got to carry your cross.
Okay. But now I'm going to tell you that you're wrong. And I want you to think about that question again.
God.
And tell me why you think I'm saying that you're wrong. You're right, sis. Yahushua gave us the spirit behind that commandment. And what is that spirit though? What does that spirit make you do? You think you know what?
It makes you love your brothers without a doubt.
Okay, I mean, you're right, but that's not the answer I'm looking for.
God.
For time's sake, I'll give you all the answer. That spirit that he gives you behind that commandment makes you kill your old self so that you can be a new creature. And that new creature loves their brother loves their sister. You understand? So everybody does have that opportunity. Maybe not to sacrifice your life in the context of spilling blood, but mind you, Yahushua wants you to live.
Right.
So he's not asking for us to shed our blood, for each other. What he wants you to do is kill your old self. You understand? Where you leave all them worldly ways behind so that you can properly love your people. You can love your people like Yahushua loved his people. And you do that by killing your old self. You stop being that wicked, disgusting, evil bastard that you once was. Where you selling drugs to your own people. You understand? Where, you abandoning your children. You understand? Where you're on the stripper pole, where you shooting up drugs into your own system. Because you got to remember, when you hate yourself, and when you doing these drugs and whatnot, like you do this because you hate yourself. If you hate yourself, you're naturally gonna hate your brother and sister. That's why Yahushua said, love your brother, love your people like you love yourself. But you got to learn how to love yourself. You understand? You got to learn to stop hating yourself. And how do you do that? You kill that old person that you once was. And the ISUPK under the Commander General Yohana will build you back up into a man or woman that loves themselves and and your people. Verse 34. Go ahead and read that again from the top, Bubba Shot.
God. It's the book of John, chapter 13, and verse number 34. A new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another, as I have loved you, that you also love one another.
You understand? It's as simple as that, man. We all need to have the same love for one another like Christ had. You understand? What they say, one love. Simple as that. You understand what I'm saying? You are willing to go through all the bad. You are willing to get rid of all the bad for the sake of your people. You understand? All right, let's drop that. Go to the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 12. 15 and 12.
It's the book of John, chapter 15 and verse number 12.
Mm-hmm.
This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you.
Make sure that you read it as it's written. But you understand? And of course, man, it's being repeated. Y'all know how niggas is. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, we all know how niggas is. I wish you would, or I wish you would. When we are serious about something, we will repeat ourselves many, many times. All so-called Negroes, all so-called Latinos, all so-called indigenous peoples do the same exact thing where they will repeat themselves when they really mean it. You understand? And as we all know, Yahushua is what, Rakazai? What is Yahushua? What is Jesus? What is he? Huh? He's black. He's a black man. Simple as that. We know he's a black man. I mean, hell, you can just see it in the things that he says over and over and over again. Making sure that you heard him and you understand him. You understand? Yahushua is a so-called black man, or like the sister says, from the tribe of Judah. You understand? He's a Judite. All right, go ahead and drop that. Go to the book of Psalms, chapter 50. Psalms 55 and verse 20.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse number 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant.
Hold on. Salakia. Why is that in my notes there? That don't go to that breakdown. So Laki, drop that. We're gonna go to 1 Corinthians. Go back to the New Testament. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13 and verse 2.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13, and verse number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing.
Hey, why is that one there? Why are my notes like this? So lucky, y'all. Oh, you know what? Read that again.
Come. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13, and verse number 2. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I can remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing.
Why is he saying that he's nothing? Why?
Because
he has all this. He has this power to move mountains, understand all the mysteries of the Bible. He's got the gift to be able to prophesy, but yet he is nothing. Why? Go ahead.
Because you don't have brotherhood, which is charity. One of the definitions for charity.
Give yourself a hand. All right. Get a trooper a hand. Most High in Christ. Exactly. If you don't have brotherhood, if you do not have charity for your people, or just simply putting it, brotherhood, man, you nothing. It doesn't matter what abilities that you have, what you can accomplish, man. You ain't shit if you ain't got brotherhood. If you can't be charitable you can't be charitable for your people. Right. You understand? It means nothing. You understand? All right. Yeah, see, so like I almost went over there. I had to read that one more time. I was like, hold on. That one should be in there. So like it. All right, drop that. Let's go to the book of 1 John, chapter 5. So like it. 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3.
The book of 1 John, chapter 5, and verse number 3.
Let's go.
For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
Man, read that again from the top.
Come. It's the book of 1 John, chapter 5, and verse number 3. Mm-hmm. For this is the love of God.
This is the love of God. We're about to find out how you actually display your love for the Most High God. So everybody just put that picture of the Christian church in your mind, at the forefront of your mind, as this brother reads this verse to y'all, and tell me if it matches up, what Christian church or the Catholic Church, what goes on in those wicked ass buildings. You understand? If it aligns with what we're about to read, what this brother's about to read again. Go ahead.
Come. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
Well, let's start right there. And take into consideration all of these sexual assault scandals, all these, sexual harassment scandals, all these goddamn, the pedophilia, the homosexuality, the drugs that is happening in these goddamn churches. Doesn't all that go against the commandments? Read on.
And his commandments are not grievous.
And the craziest part about it is it's not a difficult thing to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Now, will the oppressor make it difficult? Like, take, for example, getting to Passover, making sure that you get to Passover. Will our oppressor make it difficult so that you can keep that, that commandment to keep the Passover? Oh, yeah. But then, Salaki, it says we're at 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. But is keeping the Passover, is that actually grievous? I mean, hell, we send up some prayers. we gather together with our brothers and sisters, have a good ass time. Hell, my fat hungry ass, I get to eat some unleavened bread and some lamb. Delicious. Slovakia. You understand what I'm saying? I don't see anything hard about that.
Right.
What made it difficult was just how Esau want to goddamn, overprice his damn plane tickets and charge you, $1 million goddamn dollars just so that you can bring your freaking luggage. Talk about frontier, goddamn it. Shit, too damn expensive. But you get what I'm saying? Then you got to spend all, everything is just overpriced. I saw that you had your hand up. Just give me 1 second. You understand? That is grievous. But that's because Esau, our oppressors across the board are just wicked, disgusting, greedy bastards. That's it. That's why it was grievous. But let us be in the kingdom where it's all about the brotherhood. And in fact, actually, no, we'll stay in this in this disgusting kingdom that we're in now. All you got to do is do what one thing if you're unable to purchase that plane ticket yourself, that room ticket, that room for yourself. What's the one thing you got to do?
Let your brothers know.
Let your brothers know. Display brotherhood. Brotherhood is always a two-way street. Brotherhood starts when somebody is in need. The brotherhood starts with that brother asking for help. Now, of course, because we're in a time of us being destroyed, that's something we all have to relearn. Or it's like we all have to learn. It's to ask for help because it is okay to ask for help. To say, you know what, I can't do it. I ain't got it right now. It's okay to say that. You understand? So that your brother can show you that he is a brother and can help you. You understand? But hey, you're going to get to Passover. Your brothers will see to it that you get to Passover. You understand? Because you know what? You know what's at the forefront of their mind? Oh, damn, Officer Rock can't make it because he can't afford it. Man, shit, hold on. Let me put a group text. Let me make sure that we can, put a fundraiser together so that this brother can now purchase, get the rest of the funds that is required so he can get this plane ticket, so that he'll have a place to stay. You understand? 1 second, Trooper. You had your hand up. What did you want to say?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm. That's a question.
I don't know how to say the word, but you said it for one of the questions. It was, what does that make? I know it starts with a G, but I don't know.
It starts with a G?
Yeah.
Well, what did I say?
You said what makes that, and then I don't know the word.
And then what did I say after that?
You said no. You didn't say anything after that.
So what makes something that starts with a G? I'm not. Oh, grievous.
Yes.
Oh. So what's your question?
What's the previous thing?
So something that's grievous is something that is how do I explain it? If something is grievous, like okay, when we gotta pick up the weeds out in the yard, it's grievous. It's like, I don't want to do this. This sucks. Does that make sense? So something grievous is something that's afflicting you, that in a way it hurts you, and like you don't want to do it because it sucks. Does that make sense? So that's something that's grievous. All right. Yeah. So like a Trooper, you had your hand up.
Con, I just wanted to add to what you were saying about
Go ahead,
the brotherhood, with the brotherhood, on how you were saying you can send out a group chat and let it be known that we can help. That goes back to that scripture that you put in Corinthians about how if you have no charity, everything else don't matter.
You understand? Or that's another way to put it. Sister Auntie Amanaba, she said, you think it's hard to do. So yeah, something that's grievous is something that's difficult. It's hard. It's tedious. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do it because it sucks. You get what I mean? All right. The water says, drop that. Go to 1 John 2 and 10.
It's the book of 1 John, chapter 2, and verse number 10.
Uh-huh.
He that loveth his brother abideth in light, and there is none occasion of stumbling in him.
Break that down, Trooper. Break that down for me.
Come. Okay, so when you love your brother will be able to not stumble because of the light that you shine upon him.
Wait, say that again.
When you love your brother, and there's many forms and ways to love your brother, but when you do that, that light it helps your brother not to stumble.
Well, this isn't talking about your brother, following after you. Do you know what the word abideth means?
Like, la.
Look it up.
God. Third person, singular, simple, present, indicative form of abide.
So, did you look up abideth or did you look up abide?
Abideth, to
Yeah,
remain.
look up abide. Oh, go ahead.
To remain, continue, stay, abide with me, tarry, to have one's abode, dwell, reside, to abide in a small Scottish village.
So abide is basically someone who lives and sits in the light, right? So he that loveth his brother abideth in the light. He sits in the light, right? Read that second part now again.
And there is none occasion of stumbling in him.
So there's no occasion of stumbling in who? Who is that referring to?
Yourself.
The brother who's abiding in the light, who loves his brother. Now, why? Why is there no stumbling in him?
Because
go ahead, young man. Go ahead. Because he has brotherhood. Exactly. So now tell me more. Why is it that the brotherhood, why is it because he has brotherhood, it keeps him from stumbling? Huh? Why does him having brotherhood prevent him from stumbling?
Because he's helping his brothers and the Lord's watching him.
It's him. It's him who doesn't stumble. So what keeps him from stumbling? You said brotherhood, but what about the brotherhood keeps him from stumbling? Say it again.
Because he's showing brotherhood, so that's an example for other brothers. They're showing it.
He's okay. So he's showing brotherhood. So that's setting an example for the other brothers. And then what did you say?
And then there, everyone's watching him, the video and stuff.
You were right there. You want to take a stab at it, Trooper? It's simple. It's because, like what y'all was saying, is because he has that brotherhood. He's being that example to others. So now they know how to treat him because he's treating them the way he wants to be treated. So when there comes a time where he's weak, he needs to call somebody. Hey, man, I don't know. Like, I just need somebody to talk to. I just need to pull up, man. Like, I'm going through it right now because A, B, and C have happened, or whatever. Well, his brothers aren't going to let him fall. All he has to do is make sure that he speaks up. He has to keep that brotherhood and communicate and let his brothers know what he needs. You understand? All right. Drop that. Go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 18. All right, we got this one and then one other one, and then we're able to go into my actual topic. So like it. Man, it is the brotherhood class, so it's important to go through all these, these brotherhood scriptures. And of course, for those that don't have them themselves, you know what I'm saying, so they can write them down. You know what I'm saying?
You said 9 and 18?
Did I say 9 and 18? Let's see. Wow, doggone it. Oops, other direction. Chapter 9, verse 18.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, and verse number 18.
Mm-hmm.
For wickedness burneth as the fire, it shall devour the briars.
There you go.
And thorns, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest, and they shall mount up like the lifting of a smoke.
Read on.
Verse 19. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother.
So now, verse 19 basically just elaborated what we read in verse 18. You understand? Because wickedness burneth as a fire. You understand? And that wickedness is in wicked people who make wicked acts. So then it starts to commit wicked acts. So then it continues to describe on how it shall devour the briars and thorns. If I remember correctly, a briar is like this really thick vine with like big ass thorns on it. I believe that's what a briar is. So it shall devour the briars and the thorns. So of course, like you got to think that like it's basically comparing, this vegetation, this disgusting looking vegetation to wicked people. You understand? Because they're like these, a briar is not a pretty looking plant. It looks like just like a root with just thorns. You know what I'm saying? And like them thorns will F you up, and they are very like invasive. So like if you allow them to grow, like they just they'll completely take over, and then you can't even walk through it. You get what I'm saying? Like, man, briars is something nasty. Okay, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest, and they shall mount up like and they shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke. You understand? Again, when you read verse 19, it goes to describe how like the Lord's wrath, man, like he ain't playing. He's gonna clean that all up by burning the wickedness.
Right.
He's gonna burn it all up. He's gonna burn up all them, the disgusting briar plants. You understand? He's gonna burn up that wickedness through his wrath. You understand? Read verse 19 again from the top, Abu Shah.
Come, verse 19. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened, and
Uh-huh.
the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother.
Man, so of course, you know they're wicked because they won't even spare their own brother. Which, I mean, hell, what defines somebody to be wicked in the first place? What makes somebody wicked?
By not keeping the commandments.
Exactly. It's as simple as that. You do not do what the Lord commands you to do. You do not do the things that the Lord has commanded you to do. Simple as that. You understand? Those are wicked people who do the things that go against the Lord. You understand? And what did Yahushua just tell us not too long ago was the second most important commandment, was to have brotherhood, to love your brother like you love yourself, to love thy neighbor. And then, hell, he even took it a step further and raised the bar and said, you need to love your brother like I have loved you.
Right.
You understand? So wouldn't a righteous brother, a good brother, he would spare his brother, right?
God.
But the wicked, man, they not worried about their brother being spared. You understand? Go ahead and read verse 21.
Verse 21. Manasseh.
Actually, no, that's fine. We'll end it right there, right? Yeah, we'll end it right there because I had to at least give y'all an example of, unbrotherliness. You understand? Because of course, it says it's basically letting you know that, hey, in the midst of your wickedness, you and your unbrotherliness, you not loving your brother like you're supposed to, and you're gonna get caught up in that fire. You are not having the ability to be able to love your brother and spare your brother is gonna be your own ass. You understand? That is what's gonna get you caught in the midst of the Lord's wrath. So you will be burned. Go ahead, True.
And another way of showing your brother's love is rebuking him, correct?
Kind. Because you got to think, when you tell me what the word rebuke means.
Rebuke. Let me get the definition.
Okay, don't sweat. Oh, so you just saying words and don't even know what they mean, then, huh?
I know what it means. I just don't want to say it wrong.
All right, most side of Christ.
Express sharp disapproval or criticism of someone because of their behavior or action.
Right.
So rebuking would be basically correcting someone, but in a righteous way.
Right. So you let them know, like, yo, man, what you just did, that was out the spirit. That was unacceptable, what you just did. Man, hold on. Like, going forward, like, instead of you doing like this and acting like that, man, this is what you need to do. You understand? Like, that was unacceptable. I do not want to see you doing or saying something like that ever again. Unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? That's you rebuking your brother. You are expressing the fact that, like, with that from one, you disappointed. You understand? You found their actions disgusting. So you let them know, and then of course you corrected it. And sometimes that rebuke comes with a consequence. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's a fine. You know what I'm saying? Who knows, with an extra duty, whatever, to make things right, right?
Go.
All right, let's drop that and then go to the book of Micah, chapter 3 and verse 1. Book of Micah 3 and 1.
It's the book of Micah, chapter 3 and verse number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. It is not for you to know judgment.
So that's a question that's being asked. You understand? Isn't it for us to know judgment, or is it for us to know judgment? And what is it? What is judgment? What is the judgment? No. Well, what is judgment though? What is the judgment that we are not supposed to know? It's the consequence for you breaking the law. So judgment comes after you offending the law. We're not supposed to know what that's like. We're not supposed to know judgment. We're just supposed to know what the law is, and that be it. Because I mean, if you're a prince of the Lord, that means that you abide by the Most High's laws, right? You do as He commands, right? You're not out there, having sex with whores and throwing women away, or on the stripper pole. You know what I'm saying? Selling drugs, doing drugs, etc. You get what I'm saying? No, you're doing as the Lord commanded you, because you are a prince of the power. And because we are supposed to be that example to everybody else. Now you know the judgment. You understand? Read verse 2.
Verse number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones.
You understand? This is how unbrotherly that we got. You understand? Where we started to hate the good. Now, what do you think this good that it's referring to? Go ahead. Okay, the law. But give me more.
Like not following all the stuff that
Okay, I mean, you're right, but not quite. Trooper?
The good is basically charity.
Okay, charity. I mean, simple as this. They're hating their brothers who are keeping the law. You understand? Because it says who hate the good and love the evil. So, I mean, if we started to hate our brothers who are keeping the law. We started to hate, doing the right things, and then started loving basically the other nations, the ways of the other nations. You understand? Who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones. Do you know what that's saying right there?
Yeah.
Man, we get to the point, like, look at what Beyonce is doing to her skin right now. Look at what's his name? I was gonna say Barry Sanders. What's his name, man? Baseball player, the Dominican brother. Sammy Sosa. What Michael Jackson did. Man, they bleached their skin because they didn't want to be black. They didn't want to be a part of their family no more. You understand? And that in itself is wicked as hell. That is you loving that wickedness. You understand? So, okay, now we officially are going to start into the topic. Okay? All right, so we're going to start off at the book of, go to the book of Matthew, chapter 4 and verse 25. Matthew 4 and verse 25.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 4 and verse number 25.
Uh-huh.
And there followed him great multitudes of people from Galilee and from Decapolis, and from Jerusalem, and from Judea, and from beyond Jordan.
So this is just talking about how a great multitude went, followed Yahushua. So in other words, Yahushua was all over. You understand? And mind you, because what the topic is what laws did Christ do away with? So in other words, right now we're setting up a picture of understanding who all did Christ go and talk to, who all did he, you understand, basically tell that these set laws were done and over with. You understand? What laws that he ended, if it's all of them or onesie twosies. You understand? Just like what the title says, what laws did Christ do away with? By the end of this class, Lord allow, y'all can give me the answer. You understand? And understand what laws that he did away with and why he did it and how many. You understand? Right? So read the next verse, chapter 5, verse 1.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse number 1. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him.
You understand? So he saw the multitude, went up to the mountain. So basically, so he could teach with his brothers, at his feet. You understand? Now, let's go ahead and go to Salakia. I forgot to mention. First and foremost, he was talking to his people, right, or to his brothers, right? So what is this also letting you know who the audience was? What did the audience of people consist of whom he was speaking to? Go ahead.
The so-called blacks, natives, and indigenous people.
Who's talking to his people? He went. Nowhere does it say that he was talking to everybody. No, man, he was talking to his people that followed after him. You understand? Because of course, during that time, we know who was poor. If you read on, it lets you know about how he feels and views his people. But we're gonna drop that and go to the book of Matthew, chapter 10, and verse 5. He goes in to talk about how he feels and about the poor, to basically lift them back up. You understand? Because we were in a low state at that time. The Romans weren't in a low state. So what point would he have of saying these words that he was going to say when you read on in verse chapter 5, right? But we're going to go ahead and go to chapter 10 and verse 5 through 7. You read that when you got it?
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse number 5.
Mm-hmm.
These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
So now this is Yahushua giving an order to them brothers that, hey man, you're gonna go push out this word, but you are not gonna go into the cities of the heathens. You understand? Of the Gentiles, because you're not gonna go into their way, and hell, you're not even gonna waste your breath talking to them. Why? Why would that be them wasting their breath talking to them?
Because they're not going to listen one bit.
They might have listened. But it doesn't matter if they listened or not. Go ahead, Trooper.
Because repentance is not for them.
It's not for them. That's it. It's as simple as that. This word is not for those Gentiles. It is for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You understand? Salaki, I got ahead of myself. Go ahead and read verse 6.
Verse number 6. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
But go rather into the house of but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So hold on. Now, why is this important with what the topic is? The topic, again, is a question that I pose for everybody to think about, right? Which is, what laws did Christ do away with? What is the importance of this right here, and how it correlates with what my question is, what the title of this class is? Go ahead.
Can you read it again?
But the verse? Yeah, Khan. Read verse 5 and 6 again. Actually, just go ahead and read verses 5 through 7.
Come. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 10, and verse number 5. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as you go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Why is this relevant to my topic, or Salaki, to my question? How? Go ahead, Trooper.
It's because today people feel like everybody can be saved.
Okay. So, but give me more. Because, okay, I want you to answer it so that I know that my question, the title of the class is being put into mind, is also considered in your answer. Does that make sense?
Come.
But you were right. I just need a little bit more. Shemai, just tell her to go ahead and put them in the bath now. She already did? Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Do you know? No? Well, if the law is done and over with, doesn't that mean that this whole Bible is for everybody? If Christ really did away with the law and did away with the Old Testament, doesn't that basically mean that he should be talking to the entire earth and talking to them about what in particular? The law. Because read verse 7 again.
And no, as you go,
read verse 6 and 7.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
So Yahushua made it specific. He gave a specific order. Go talk to who again?
The house of Israel.
No, the world.
The lost sheep of the house of Israel.
No, the Romans.
The lost sheep of the house of Israel.
No, the Egyptians.
The lost sheep of the house of Israel.
He made it specific who to go talk to. He said, go talk to everybody. Or did he? Read that again.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
No, Yahushua Mashiach, Jesus Christ, as the world ignorantly knows him as in English, gave a specific order to go only talk to the house, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and not those Gentiles. Read verse 7.
Verse 7. And as you go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
You understand? So Yahushua was telling them, yo, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. We need to get ourselves right so that we can take the kingdom, we can have the kingdom of heaven. You understand? You are what you are doing. If you continue to live your life the way that you are living, where you are lawless, not following after the Samaritan laws, not following, he don't care about you following the Samaritan laws. He don't care about you following the Roman laws. He doesn't care about you following all the laws that has nothing to do with the Lord's laws. You understand? No. If you don't follow after the Most High God's laws, like how you supposed to, man, you're gonna lose the opportunity to have the kingdom of heaven. Right. This is what is at stake right now, is the kingdom of heaven. But for you to get it, how do you get it? Go ahead.
By following the law of Israel.
So, hey, get a young man a hand by following the laws of the Most High. So, I mean, hell, we can. I think we basically answered the question. We can go ahead and clip the class. I believe everybody should understand now, right? That Christ didn't do away with the law. He said to go speak to a certain people to let them know, go preach to them and let them know that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And for you to get it, you have to follow the law. We will teach you the law. We will teach you how to follow it. We will teach you what to do. You understand? So already it sounds like Yahushua didn't do away with it. But you know what? I got more because, sometimes, those blatant scriptures, it's not enough for people. So let's lay it down even flatter, right? Drop that, go to the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse number 17.
Mm-hmm.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
Hold on. Time out. That was too flat. That was, man. Think not what?
Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
Uh-huh.
Or the prophets.
So what did he just say right there?
Don't
put it in plain terms. I'm a dumb ass Christian who really believes that the law, that Christ came to do away with the law. Hold on. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Oh, you have a question?
Yeah.
Hold your question. Go ahead, Trooper.
Don't think that I came to let y'all know that ain't no more laws. I didn't destroy that or the prophets who are teaching the law.
Oh, man. So, I mean, was that really hard is that really hard to understand?
Nah.
So, like that's why I always laugh at goofies that are on Facebook or, just Christians, period, man. When they're just like, oh yeah, well, the law is done and over with. Let's see what the man himself said. Read verse 17 again for the top, Baba Gashan.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse number 17. Mm-hmm. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come.
Go ahead.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
I mean, how much plainer can you get than that? What color is this? Are these words written in?
Red lettering.
Which means that Yahushua is talking.
Correct.
So you want to argue with the king, our Messiah? That's who you want to argue with? And he said what he said, but then you're going to add on and say that he said something else. That's crazy. What's your question?
My question was, what does he mean by I'm destroying the law?
To do away with it. So look, if Yahushua came to destroy the law, that would mean that you wouldn't have to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. So in other words, we could just throw the book away. What's the point? What is the point of having this book if the law is over with? If the law's done, what's the point of having it? There's no point. That's how you know, and that's the thing about like the Muslims, right? With that stupid ass Quran that's no better than toilet paper. I damn near wouldn't even wipe my own ass with it because it's that terrible. You understand? Y'all know that they have their laws and stuff like that. Like take for example, they're not supposed to eat pork.
Right.
But there's a big but, and not a nice one. But there's there is the exception that you can eat swine if like you're about to die. So it's basically their faith is circumstantial. You understand? It's circumstantial. Now versus what the Bible is, man, keep your goddamn integrity. Somebody's gonna put you in a boiling hot pot of oil, man, then suffer. God damn it. You suffer for me because you know what? You'll be rewarded when you return. That's not gonna be the the end all be all. You will return. And for those of y'all, if y'all don't know what I'm referencing, that was what book is that in? I can't remember what book that was in.
Matthew 10.
That was in. No, it wasn't Esdras. It wasn't Tobit. It wasn't Judith. Man, what book was that in? where the sister and her, I believe she had 7 sons, where because the king at that time where they were living, was trying to get them to eat of the unclean meat, but they, them boys were standing strong. You know what I'm saying? It was like, nah, I'm not compromising nothing for you. I'm not compromising nothing, with the Lord. The Lord said for me not to do this, I'm not doing it. Man, they had one of them brothers was so goddamn cold when they went to put him in the pot and pretty much cook him alive. Man, oh wait, no, or did they skin him? They did something terrible to the man. Man, he just sat there with a straight face. Didn't make a noise, didn't react. Man, you can't do nothing to me, man. Go ahead, take my life. You understand? I can't remember what book that was. It is a powerful ass story. You understand? But let me get back on top. You had your hand up? All right, I already did. All right, no sweat. But let me get back on top. I don't want to sidetrack too much. But y'all understand? You just throw away the whole entire book if Christ had done away with the law.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead and read verse 18.
Go on. Verse number 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
Now, what did he just say right there?
He's saying,
hold on, go ahead, young man. Go ahead. What did you just say right there? Huh? There's more to it than that. Go ahead, Trooper. Break that down. What did Christ say right?
We have to continue to keep the law. He's basically saying, like, until heaven and earth pass, which that hasn't happened, we have to keep this law. We can't go from the smallest law to the biggest. We have to keep every law.
Exactly.
And he's saying it like that because he knows that, first and foremost, all hasn't been fulfilled. So we have to continue to keep the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right, exactly. Simple. You see how simple that is?
God.
I mean, hell, we reading it. We're reading it together. And you see how simple that really is to just read and understand? Like right here, this ain't no doggone parable. This isn't one of them, them parables, that your house I said where like you just like, ooh. I mean, I know that's heavy what you just said, but I don't even know what the hell you just said. You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't one of those. This is simple. Straight to the goddamn point. You understand? But the reason why these Christians don't believe in it, the reasons why that the Christians try to claim that the law is done and over with is because they're disgusting. They want to be able to fulfill their lusts. Yeah. You understand? They don't care for the Lord. What did we just read in 1 John 5:3? What is the love of God? How do you show the Most High that you love Him?
By following the law.
Man, this young man, how old are you?
9.
You're 9, and you know how to show that you love the Most High God. And how do you do it? By following the law, statutes, and commandments. A 9-year-old boy understands this. A 9-year-old boy understands this doggone book, the secrets to this book that people have been trying to study this and decode it for thousands of years now.
Right.
You understand? For thousands of years, it's been argued over. But this 9-year-old boy, give him a hand first and foremost. So like it. Give yourself a hand, man. Good job. This 9-year-old boy knows how to display his love for the Most High God. You understand? And he knows, is the law done and over with?
No.
He knows that he's got to keep on following the laws. It's not over. A 9-year-old boy, 9 years old. Man, these damn preachers, these damn pope, them fake priests and everything, man, they should be ashamed of themselves. I said my 9-year-old go teach a goddamn sermon and have everybody right one Sunday. Goddamn it, because he knows this Bible. You understand? He understands what is important. He understands, that, you know what, goddamn, you need to learn this law. Open your goddamn Bible. Even though, I mean, I don't even, do Christians even have Bibles in the churches? I feel like the only one who has the freaking Bible is the pastor, and he just reads a passage, and then now he's dancing and shaking and sweating and just talking about how, you know, he's been swallowed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, that place is disgusting.
Right.
They don't actually read the Bible, because if they did, they'd understand this. This is not a parable. This is simple. Right. We already answered the question to the goddamn, you know, my class title. We're done. But we got more. Go ahead.
I think they do talk about, like, I cannot, we're talking about, but they talk about, oh, how you should do this and all this stuff about other.
But they're not reading from the Bible. That's the point. They're not reading from the Bible. They're just talking. They just say things to make you feel good and, you know, self-empowerment. You got to think, Ratazai, them churches, like, you know how we was talking about the other day about how, you know, out here in Pahrump, there's people who, you know, there's these little stupid ass kids that like to put on cat ears and cat tails because they think that they're a cat. You know where they go? They go to the Christian church. Those are Christians. You understand? Where they think it, you know, they need to be pooping and peeing in a goddamn kitty litter. They're Christians. That's something a Christian does and accepts. A Christian accepts this. You understand? Just ridiculous. Go ahead and read verse 19.
Come, verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Hold on now. Who you going? That's too fast, man. You reading too fast. Now, I'm confused about this parable that you just read to me. You know, it's really read. So, you know, this man speaks in many ways that I just can't understand. Break down what you just read so far.
Come on. If you out here teaching people to break the most smallest commandment, then just understanding that you're going to be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Now, who's teaching people to do that?
The Christian church.
Man, them goddamn pastors, T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar. You understand? I mean, he a devil, so he going to be the least in the kingdom anyways. Joel Osteen, that's his name. You understand? They're teaching the masses to the law is over with.
Right.
So when you tell somebody that the law is over with, turn him around. When you teach somebody that the law is over with, what are you also doing? What are you also telling them that they can do?
Sin against the Lord.
Break those commandments.
Right.
To offend the law. You understand? Read on.
Come. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Man, but if you actually do and keep the Most High God's laws now, when, you know, now it's you know, how do they say it's free will, freedom of choice. My body, my choice. My life, my choice. YOLO. You only live once. And this time, where you have all of these, how would I say, distractions, and you choose to still serve the Most High God, and this time, man, you're gonna be called great in the kingdom.
That's right.
You understand? Because I mean, hell, you already there. You understand? You already doing what is required of you, and naturally, you teaching that to the next generation. You understand? I got my 1-year-old boy right there. I got my 9-year-old boy right here. You understand? They're being taught for the next generation so that they will also do that as well for their sons and daughters. And of course, for our other brothers and sisters out there.
Right.
You understand? setting ourselves right for the kingdom of heaven. You understand? Go ahead and drop that. Go to book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 17.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse number 17.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto him, why callest me thou, Salakia, why callest thou me good?
Mm-hmm.
There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
Just live how you want.
Keep the commandments.
Man, hey, the law's over with, y'all. We can throw the Bible away now.
Keep
That's
the
your cue.
commandments.
Keep the commandments.
Sorry.
Salaki. Salaki. You understand? Yahushua just said right here. This is out of his words. Now, his own mouth, his own words. Again, read that last part again.
But if thou wilt enter into life,
Mm-hmm.
keep the commandments.
If thou will enter into life, if you're going to be born, keep the commandments. That's simple. That make a choice. No, man. Keep the goddamn commandments.
Right.
You understand? I don't see what's confusing about that. But I'm still waiting to see if anybody online has, is able to tell me which laws were done and over with. You know what I'm saying? Which laws we don't have to keep. The best one that I always hear, hold on. The best one I always hear is that now we can eat what we want. All because of Paul's dream. He had a dream about unclean animals. All of a sudden, now we can eat swine like we're Muslim. It's circumstantial. Man, listen, you have something?
Like how we do, I don't think we should do it, but how if you don't want we talked about it on Sunday, how if you don't want you and your son, all your first children and you, if you're the first children, if you were to die, you have to put, I think it was
lamb blood.
Yeah.
That was for the Passover, but that was back in ancient Egypt. We don't have to do that anymore. I answer your question? All right. All right, let's move on. Go to the book of 1 John, chapter 2, and verse 3.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2, and verse number 3.
Damn, this is ridiculous. Look at this. Slacky, I read it here. My bad. Go ahead, Slacky.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And hereby we do know that we know him. If
hold on. But hereby we do know that we know him. So you know that somebody knows. You know that you know him. Who is him? Who is the him? Go ahead. The Lord. Man, excellent. Good job. God damn it. By hereby, this is how we know that I know him, that somebody else knows the Lord. Read on.
If we keep his commandments.
I mean, can you get any more simpler than that? Like this right here was one of them Dr. Seuss. This should be a Dr. Seuss verse or Dr. Seuss book. All in itself. Just call it keeping the commandments for children. 2 and up, God damn it. I don't understand how you could think anything different. That the law is done and over with. I don't see how you can believe that. It makes no sense. Because we're reading it out of Yahushua's words. We're hearing it from John. I mean, what else do you need to know? Aside, you know what it is? You just a dumbass, and you like being in filth. You like being filthy and disgusting.
Right.
You probably one of them people that think that, oh, once I shower, my sins are washed away because I feel so much better now. I'm a new person. Because you sure as hell think that when you get dunked in that nasty ass pool where everybody's probably pissing in and shitting in, because they even have the babies being baptized in that same pool. So it's just disgusting. You get dunked in there, and all of a sudden you're a new person. No, the hell you ain't. You just a wet homosexual now. You just a wet, just disgusting person. That's it. That's the only thing changed. You were dry, now you wet. That's it. You understand? Christians are like it's really baffling that people will argue that the law is done and over with or not. Read verse 4.
Come on, verse number 4. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
So, what do we know about the Christian pastors? What do we know about the Pope? And the Pope is one of the most revered goddamn people on the planet. Claims that he knows God. Mind you, it's real. It was a couple years ago. The Pope was claiming that, you know what? The kingdom of heaven has now opened its gates so that, those LGBTQ elemental P people can now enter in. The kingdom of God is for them too, and God loves them. Man, sound good, don't it? No, the hell it don't. You're a liar, and the truth ain't in you.
Right.
You're following after a liar, a deceiver.
Right.
Instead of following after Adam, you want to follow after Eve. Adam had the truth. He knew what time it was. It was Eve that deceived. It was Eve that wanted to listen to the goddamn deceiver. It was Eve that wanted to listen to that serpent in the garden. And all that serpent was just the Pope. He was Joel Osteen. You understand? That's who that serpent was. It was a white man.
Right.
You understand? And if you don't believe me, just take for example how the so-called indigenous people, the so-called Native American people, how they describe white people. Yeah, they call them pale face. But how else do they describe them? Serpents. They're snakes. They're people who speak with a forked tongue because they say one thing, but they really mean something else. They're really going to do something else. Damn, it almost sounds like they're niggas. The way that Native Americans talk, the way that they describe people. That's interesting, isn't it? It's because they are niggas, first and foremost. Y'all understand? Yeah. I mean, hell, you gonna say here, claim that you know God, but you don't even keep the commandments? You're a liar. I mean, it's no more cut and dry than that. Like, you can't get drier than that. You can't make that any more simpler than that. Now, do y'all understand why whenever I say, oh, I want you to explain this to me like I'm a dumb Christian? It's because they're dumb. I mean, shit, they act like they can't read. Because I mean, hell, what did you just read? Read verse 3 and 4 again, Bubba Kashad.
Come, it's the book of 1 John, chapter 2, and verse number 3. And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. Verse 4.
Simple.
He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
Read the next verse too.
Verse number 5. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we, Salaki, hereby know we that we are in him.
Man, I mean, did anybody not understand that? Does anybody need me to break that down more than it was already laid? It's already laid flat. It looked like Taylor Swift's backside. She is just flat back all the way down from the top of her shoulders to the bottom of her ankles. Flat back. It's like, yeah, you had your hand up. What's up? Get your hand up. Did you forget? Okay, if you remember, raise your hand again. All right. We can't make this any more simpler. You understand? And I pray, like that's the objective of today's class, is for y'all to be able to answer this question. What laws did Christ do away with? I still have yet to see anybody online tell us anything about what laws was done over with. Is it okay for us to eat pork? Is it okay? I mean, what are the things that we were, that us weirdo, cultists, Hebrew Israelites say that we're not supposed to do? But I'm waiting for somebody to tell us that no, that's okay. You can do that. I'm waiting to see it. I would like to have this discussion, in fact, in class right now. You can't. And if you even try to fix your fingers to even try to type that into the chat, you're a dumbass. Plain and simple. Drop that. Go to the book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 1. What's up? Did you remember? Oh, you keep raising your hand. All right, no sweat.
The book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse number 1.
Uh-huh.
What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
Okay, hold on. So now this was a question being posed, right? Put that question in today's in modern terms, Trooper.
Well, since we got grace, we okay to sin, right?
I'm under grace. Exactly. I'm under grace. It's okay. I can do what I want. You know what I'm saying? I'm under grace. God knows my heart. Right. And I'm under that's why he gave me this grace. Because I'm always gonna fall short of the glory of God anyways. And he knows this, and he knows my heart. Right? First and foremost, let me ask you this. What is grace? Give me an example of grace. No, go ahead. Yeah.
Say you got a light bill and
thank you. I love the fact that this is where you went with it. But go ahead.
Say you got a light bill and it's due on the 31st, right?
Okay.
But you call them and let them know, hey, I can't pay it to the 5th. They're gonna give you a grace period to the 5th. Once that grace period is over, your lights get shut off.
Lights get shut off. You get now there's a fee. There's extra consequences. Your light bill went from being $400 to now is $450.
Right.
Because you gotta pay that reconnection fee. You understand? So in other words, now what is grace?
Grace
is instead of using that example, hold on, what's grace?
Is it when, and if you don't do something, it's gonna go a higher consequence?
No. You got it, Trooper?
I got the definition.
Okay, let's hear it.
It says a virtue coming from God, a state of sanctification enjoyed through divine assistance given to humans for their regeneration or sanctification.
Here, for time's sake, what grace is, to follow up with like your example, grace is, listen, you're supposed to have this here today, but you know what? I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to get yourself right without any consequences. So you got until the 5th. It was supposed to be due on the 31st, but you know what? I understand things are a little bit tight. Things are, a little bit difficult for you, and you was wise enough to communicate that with me. So instead of giving you that, for one, cutting off your lights and also giving you a fee, man, you know what? You said the 5th? All right. Just make sure that you pay me by the 5th, right, and there's no consequences. It's time for you to get right.
Right.
So with us being under grace right now, it's time for you to get right. So in other words, you understand? You don't know when your grace period is over. You understand? The Most High will kill you right now in the middle of you doing something disgusting that offends him. You understand? Go ahead and read on, verse 2.
Come on. Verse number 2. God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein?
Now, do you understand what he just said right there?
God forbid is like no, basically. We got to continue to keep the law.
Mm-hmm. Here, for time's sake, because I do want to get a couple more. God forbid, man, like, Lord forbid this, that we continue to live as if we're under grace, and that's our excuse to continue to sin, right? Then he follows with, how shall we that are dead to sin, so us that stopped sinning, that are now following the law. What is sin? What is sin? Go ahead, Trooper.
The transgression of the law.
Exactly. So you can't be in sin if the law is, you can't be a sinner if the law is over with.
Right.
If the law is done with. Come on, man. So again, this goes right back to Christians being dumb. They dumbasses. They're not thinking this all the way through. Oh, we're all sinners at the end of the day. Okay, so we're all offending the law then, right? So the law is still in effect then, right? That's what sin is by definition. You understand? That's 1 John 3 and 4, right? How shall we that are dead to sin, so us that stop sinning, live any longer therein? So how is it that we would be able to live, go back to sinning? Because now you're going back to sinning knowing that you're sinning. You know what you're doing. You ain't ignorant no more. The Lord ain't winking at your ignorance no more while you're doing things you ain't supposed to be doing that you didn't know you wasn't supposed to be doing. Right? No, man. Now you willingly doing this. Go ahead.
Because you don't think anything's gonna happen.
Right. Exactly. All right, go ahead and drop down to verse 15.
Verse number 15.
Mm-hmm.
What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid.
I understand this question. So should we go ahead and sin since we under grace? God forbid. Y'all understand what it means, what the word forbid means? Go ahead.
It means that you should not do that at all.
When the Most High said, when they say that God forbid, what it means is, man, God prevent this. Do not let this happen. Something that is forbidden is something that should not be done. That is commanded to not be done. You understand? So right here, I believe Peter wrote, or Paul, was it Peter or Paul? I always get Peter and Paul mixed up. It was Paul that wrote Romans, right?
Come.
Paul right here is saying, man, just because we're in grace, should we go ahead and go back to sinning? Man, God forbid. Like, we can't let this happen. No. So in other words, keep following the law. You understand? Drop that. Go to the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4.
The book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse number 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
Oh man, I mean, did I just give y'all some precept orders? Did I just let y'all know precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, which reads to teach you that the law is still in effect.
Right.
We are still to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. There should be no question about it. You understand? We just read how Paul in Romans was talking about how God forbid that we basically try to take advantage of being under grace. So let's go back out and smoke some weed. Let's go smoke some, tobacco. Let's just go smoke whatever the hell we can find, just for the sake of I just want to sin.
Right.
Let's go have sex with all the women that we can find and just throw them away. You understand? No. We are not to take advantage of grace like that. You understand? That grace period is there for us to learn. You know what I was doing wrong, I need to stop. Or it's like for you to recognize the things that you was doing wrong, and then you get a little bit of time that to get that out of your life, for you to stop, where you wean yourself off of, being an alcoholic, where you wean yourself off of being a pothead, a crackhead, whatever is afflicting you. You understand? That's what that grace period is for. So that way, because eventually you're going to stop. Hell, I did it. I stopped smoking. You understand? I stopped doing all them dumbass drugs that I was doing when I was younger before I knew that, the Lord really ain't playing with this. If I can do it, so can you. Akim and Akwathim. If I can do it, you can for sure do it. And it all starts with the fact that, man, you got brotherhood in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. All you got to do is just ask for help. You understand? We just got a handful more. So we're going to knock them out, be a little bit late. Drop that, go to 1 John 5:3.
It's the book of 1 John, chapter 5, and verse number 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
So just remember, when just think of it like this. If somebody is really going out of their way to not follow the law, statutes, and commandments, when it's not even that hard to follow the law, statutes, commandments in the first doggone place, it lets you know that they are weak.
Right.
And two, that's how disgusting you are. Something that's not even going to afflict you like that, you want to go out of your way to do the opposite, right, and offend the Most High God? You understand what I'm saying? Like, you really something else. You something else. All right, drop that. Go to the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 160.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse number 160. Thy word is true from the beginning, and every one of thy righteous judgments endureth forever.
No. Hold on. Wait a minute. Once you send your son onto the earth is when the laws are over.
Endureth forever.
I understand. These laws, statutes, and commandments will endure forever. In this wicked kingdom and in our righteous kingdom, the law is not going to change. You just don't love God. You just don't want to follow. You don't want to take orders from the Most High God. You hate God, and you're a wicked bastard. It's as simple as that. What do you want me to read from the Old Testament? You want me to read from the New Testament? I'm going to show you where the law endures forever. It does not change. It's not going away.
Right.
Nobody in the Bible ever said that the law is done and over with. Nobody ever said that, okay, there was a time where we didn't eat pork, but now under this new covenant, we can eat pork and shrimp, crab, and lobster. Have them goddamn disgusting seafood boils. I've never had one. So like a quick sidebar, I've never had a seafood boil, and I be seeing that shit online where people, take pictures and videos, and them the seafood boils. That shit looks disgusting to me. I even when I was in the world, I always thought that looked disgusting to me. Salaki, like that's salaki. It's disgusting. And you know what? The crazy thing is for y'all sisters that love to eat that nasty shit, your pH balance is off. So lucky. Drop that and let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 40 and verse 8. What's up? Hit me. You'll learn that when you're older. We'll talk about that a little bit more when you're older.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 40 and verse number 8.
Uh-huh.
The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the word of our God shall stand forever. Sheesh.
Can you get any more simpler than this?
That's wow.
Can we get any more simpler than what we just read?
That's simple.
You understand? Is it safe to say, and I got one more scripture and then, we'll get up out of here. But is it safe to say already that we have the answer to my question?
Okay.
We have the answer to what my class title is? We have that answer? Is it safe to say that everybody should have that understanding now? I mean, if you don't have the understanding, you sound like a dumbass Christian, Simple as that. You sound like you wear purple. Go to drop that. Go to the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 35. The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 35.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse number 35. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away.
Who said this?
Christ.
How do you know Christ said that?
It's in red lettering.
It's in red lettering, right? Oh, but these Christians, man, they love them some Jesus. They married to Christ. But you don't know your own husband? You don't know how you don't know that the things that your husband was saying will endure forever? Because what is it that he was saying? What were his words? It's the words of the Most High. Right. It's the Most High's words. They on one accord, right?
Oh.
So that's going to endure forever. And what were those words? Him teaching us the law. You understand? And with that, we are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge on the Commander Junior Honda, started at 1 West 125th Street, New York. That class dismissed.